it simplifies things. And that's really one of the things that I've loved so much about You Can Book Me is it simplifies so much. Honestly saying it's already such a great product. Where can they go next? I can't wait to see it.
Do you know what your lifetime bookings are since you started using it? It's a huge number. Am I right in thinking you started
Yes,
using You Can Book Me since 2022, or have you been using it for longer than that?
correct.
So in the last
Correct.
2 years, you've clocked up. I'm here with Jeremy Hummoin from Illinois College, who has very, very generously agreed to talk to us about his use and the college's use of You Can Book Me. And I just want to hear much, much more about how Jeremy supports students and faculty at Illinois College. Welcome, Jeremy.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about what you do. What's your job?
I am the educational technology manager here at Illinois College. I've been with the college in this role for about 4 years now, but have made the realization that this is my 17th year on the hilltop after being a student for 4 years, working in other capacities, and now here in IT. My main job function kind of breaks down into two roles. One role, which is fairly large, is classroom technologies and support for the physical technologies and the physical infrastructure we have here on campus. And then the other side of it is our faculty support and staff support with softwares, utilizing their computers and other solutions out there. And one of those main solutions that has come across for us that has been a huge partner over the last several years has been You Can Book Me.
Tell me a little bit more about EdTech generally, because it's a difficult thing for universities and colleges and any education institution that wants almost like to draw a line in the sand to say, okay, guys, we're going to teach you what we know. In a context where that learning is always being pushed back into technology and innovation. So tell me a little bit about how do you translate all of that into your IT and technology policy and support?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there that it's always moving too. It's always advancing, it's always innovating, and it can be very difficult at times to keep up with sometimes the pace of everything while also not overwhelming our end users, not overwhelming the faculty. And really, that has been a huge part, a huge goal of mine is to make the technology less scary for our faculty and to take that component out of their everyday.
Tell me what's your favorite software that you're using? Obviously, I know you're here to talk about You Can Book Me as well, but what is the best tech in ed tech at the moment that you would recommend?
Absolutely. So my recommendation, honestly, is Q Sys. What is the Q Sys platform? Not only from a software side, but also from a hardware side. Q Sys has become a huge partner for us. We went from having just two classrooms running their control software to now we're over 40 classrooms and roughly 10 other spaces, conference rooms, things like that, that are all running their control software. I don't have 50 screens in my office, but I do have a central location, a central software that lets me monitor every single one of those classrooms in real time. I get notifications to my cell phone and my smartwatch at the minute that something fails, at the minute that something needs addressing. And so I'm no longer waiting. I'm now much more proactive on response times. And that's been our biggest goal is efficiency on campus. And I know we're going to get transitioning into this, but that is one of the reasons too why probably honestly my second favorite software that I use is You Can Book Me because it the efficiency and the time savings that it allows us. I mean, that's what I'm here for is we've got to manage all these spaces.
Do you know what your lifetime bookings are since you started using it? It's a huge number. Am I right in thinking you started
Yes,
using You Can Book Me since 2022, or have you been using it for longer than that?
correct.
So in the last
Correct.
2 years, you've clocked up 16,368 bookings.
Yes. It's
That's so
incredible.
impressive.
And I'll say this. We did have a small spattering of users prior to 2022 that were using You Can Book Me, including myself and members of my team that were kind of the spearhead to say, we need to use this at an institutional level, not just our team, not just Jeremy using it, Like we need to make this available for all of our users. It's a huge tool. And I remember seeing that 16,000 number and I sent it to my team and we were all just flabbergasted. We're like, that is awesome.
It is.
And
I
not
mean,
in the
that's
like
that's work.
overwhelming.
Can I just ask you, what were you doing before 2022? How were you managing it before?
Email back and forth. I can't even begin to wrap my head around how many emails I've most likely saved over the last at least only 2 years with not just our faculty, our staff, and our students, our on campus presence, but even with outside vendors and outside members that I communicate with. I got a notification on my calendar that X company wants to meet with you at this time. Awesome. It's on my calendar. They used my You Can Book Me link.
And out of interest,
Always.
Jeremy, have you noticed the impact of overlay availability? So since the beginning of the year, those students or whoever are booking the new hires, they would be able to immediately overlay their own availability, their calendar, so they could easily see when was the next time both of you would be free. Have you noticed the impact of that?
I've heard that it's easier. I have heard positive comments about the overlay. I personally love it too,
Yeah.
because it's
And
like, oh, now I don't have to
I
bounce
do
back
as
and forth.
well. And you get the network effect because everybody who's on You Can Book Me, if you're automatically logged in, it will automatically do it.
Yep.
But then it also allows for people who are not on You Can Book Me, but they can overlay their calendar. It still works for them too.
Absolutely.
But I find it the more I am booking people using You Can Book Me and that I can overlay, I'm addicted to it.
Absolutely. 100%. It simplifies things. And that's really one of the things that I've loved so much about You Can Book Me is it simplifies so much.
Any other features or anything else you've been using recently that you're excited about?
I'm going to harp on it because I absolutely love it. Notifications, notifications, notifications. That was one of the other big struggles that they had was, okay, now we have to put these students into a mailing list, and then we have to make sure we send them the right notifications on when their correct time to meet is. And no, let's automate all that. Let's make this automatically happen.
So are you seeing an
Yeah.
impact on your no-shows?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I actually have heard from Student Financial Services that their no-show number is almost zero. But it's so great to see the innovations that are coming and the stuff that has happened. And I keep looking at, thinking to myself, what could they possibly do next? It's already such a great, and I'm honestly saying it's already such a great product. Where can they go next? I can't wait to see it.
Can I ask you a little bit about how you manage your availability? Because you mentioned it
Mhm.
before with the rest of your team, but then also with the students who are doing it for their own creative
Yes.
writing tutoring. Are they using custom availability? Are they putting in times in their calendar and then letting people book certain times, or are you just going for the default whenever there's a free slot you can book?
It's a mix. I personally am a probably a unicorn out there with the way I use my calendar. Because personal projects I tend to not put on my calendar only because, as I tell my faculty, most of the personal projects I'm working on, I can drop if I need to do something else. So if I need to meet with somebody, book that time. Like I can come back to programming a classroom once I'm done getting something else done. Whereas I know others on campus are very religious about this is my lunch break. This is when I go walk across campus. This is when I go do this. This is when I type emails. This is when I answer tickets. Great. And they use kind of that more open availability. I'm here from 8 to 5, book a time. That's probably the majority of our users, honestly. The students are more using the custom availability, and I've been showing them more and more how to utilize that.
Do you find yourself recommending You Can Book Me? Like, how do you talk about it to other, are you in an ed tech community with other colleges or what?
Really, like when I'm in the ed tech world, when I'm talking to others in similar positions, whether it's through organizations I'm a part of, specifically like HETMA, the Higher Education Technology Managers Alliance, when I'm talking to other users that I've met there, and I'm like, we're talking about scheduling, we're talking about meetings, and how do you go about finding those spaces and finding those times. It always just comes back to, for me, You Can Book Me is easy to use. It's from both the administration side and the end user side. It saves me on phone calls, emails, texts, back and forth, trying to schedule meetings. And it also just allows for a peace of mind that my users can get me when they need me.
It's been a real pleasure to meet you, Jeremy. It really
It's been
has.
a pleasure. It's been a pleasure as well to talk with you, Bridget. And I'm always happy to talk about You Can Book Me, always happy to talk about our experiences and anything else that that we want to chat
Fabulous.
about. But
Wonderful.
thank you for taking time as well.